That's what I call an answer. Okay.
Hello, my name is Benjamin B., and this is a video edit of a Zoom call that I did with the great cinematographer Vittorio Storaro and with his daughter, architect and lighting designer Francesca Storaro. I interviewed father and daughter about the Muses of Light, a series of 10 LED light fixtures developed for cinema by the Storaros in collaboration with lighting manufacturer Sisti. As you shall see, we spoke about a few other things as well.
I always had the need, the search, to have the chance to regulate in the light, not using fixed light. Light is not fixed, light is in movement. For many, many years, I was using every possible things, using big dimmer, generator, everything in order to have the kind of waves on light, like music. In 1980, I had the chance with Francis Coppola, while I was preparing One from the Heart, to use really the first light board. Francis said, please, Vittorio, help me to make the new studio, Zoetrope Studio, in renovated way. And I said, Francis, my dream is the chance to have the light that I can control in one single console, so I can perform in the way that I want in my mind, in my vision, and so on. So that was the first time that really I used a light board to control all the lights. From that moment on, after that movie, 1980, when I came back in Italy, I started to say to Cinecittà, if you want me to work in your studio, you have to organize a big light board in order that I can change the light. And from that moment on, I use it everywhere I want, in exterior, not only in interior, in Russia, in China, any film that I did. The last one, big one that I did was in Iran, making the story of the prophet since 12 years old. And I was looking at all those lights with those so big cable and the kind of power that you need to light a very large area in the city of Mecca rebuild it at night. And I say, well, wait a minute, a few months ago, I did some kind of collaboration with Francesca. She is a lighting designer, apart from architect, in lighting all the beautiful building in Rome or some kind of archaeological site. And we were not using so much big light in order to do such large area. So why we are not using new technology in cinema? I said, Francesca, I think we need to bring your technology that you're using normally, LED light in architecture, into film industry. You see the painting behind me? The famous painting of Michelangelo Merisi called Il Caravaggio is the calling of San Matteo, the journey of light into darkness. Since I met this kind of painting, I realized that any school, any university, any institute in cinema teaching us in technology, not in art. So I started to study and research in literature, in philosophy, in painting, in order to balance technology and art. And I brought 3 different books. It's called Writing with Light. One is about all my study research in light. One is about color. The third is about the element. And it is all the journey that I did with Bernardo Bertolucci, Francis Coppola, Warren Beatty. I was lucky enough to be healthy, and people still call me to do a movie. And I started to collaborate with Carlos Saura, the Spanish director. He practically introduced me to different art because he made a movie using music, singing, dancing, not only the story. So I started to prepare myself and study what in the Greek philosophy is called the Muses. The Muses are invented by the philosopher Hesiodo and Plato, how we can inspired in performing in different art. Each one of art, they find names, Calliope, Melpomene, they can inspire any artist. Mainly, any company didn't change the the fixture, the projector itself. Just remove the bulb and they put the LED bulb. And I said to Francesca, we have to find something that is much more connected with the artistic way to use light. And why we don't start to thinking how is possible to make some kind of connection between a specific light with a specific art. But this is something very, very theoretical. We need probably something more specific. I was preparing 5 years ago a very long research on Leonardo da Vinci's work. Well, Leonardo was helped by a great mathematician, Luca Pacioli. Luca Pacioli had in mind to make a book called The Divina Proporzione, the central idea of the Renaissance, the visual idea. He gave it to Leonardo as an idea, how to making those paintings that was so perfect in every single balance, in every single configuration, practically to take any kind of geometric shape and making perfect. So he asked to Leonardo da Vinci to design every geometric shape. And Leonardo helped him. With Francesca, we started using from the Divina Proporzione, the drawing of Leonardo, we make a connection. Of course, this is a personal interpretation. Practically anybody else, you, any others can use one light, in connection as we did with one specific muse connected with music or poetry or whatever, with a specific form. I make, through all my experience, one specific connection between one particular light, one particular size, one particular shape. And of course, with Francesca and the Sisti, the company that build the Muses of Light, we designed it very, very clear in the way the specific lens optic, the specific mirror, the specific thing, it gave a specific light.
All right, that's what I call an answer. Okay, Francesca.
Yeah.
We want to have you speak a little bit also.
I'm a lighting designer, officially recognized by the Italian, European, and American Association of Lighting Designer. I began to use LED luminaires from 2008 with very important projects in Switzerland, in China. The lighting project of the Imperial Forum in 2015 was designed by me and my father, a lighting designer and a cinematographer. So architecture and cinema together. And we were able to pass our knowledge of cinema and architecture to each other. Across an area of 2,000 square meters, we have a consumption of just 26 kilowatts with a total of 520 LED projectors. My father remained shocked, For the first time, my father got to know LED lighting technology. He fell in love with it. And we started to design LED lighting fixture for cinema together with the Sisti.
So what is great about this series? That it's not just a generic different light or different sides, just be LED. No, this is a series connected with some kind of very research in painting, in philosophy, thinking at the geometric shape. The first light for us is a 1-point light. After, you have to have 3 points, which is Melpomene. And so the triangle is the light that go very straight forward in the one side. And after we go in square, so you start to open a bit. And you go straight on, a little larger. After you have a rectangle. So practically the shape, any person that doesn't remember the name of the Muses, doesn't matter. Say, give me the square, give me the triangle, give me the pentagon or wherever, is the same thing. If the geometric is telling you, step by step, we starting like that, we go like this, and after we go like this, and after we go 5 sides, 6 sides, 8 sides, 10 sides, the circle, the whole. I invented the name Aura for the 10 Muses into it.
This is Saura.
It's fantastic. Aura is fantastic.
2,000 watts, narrow spot. It's very, very, very beautiful.
some people might say, well, you know, the difference between a pentagon and a hexagon and an octagon, you know, they're all pretty much similar looking lights. But you're saying it's important that they have different shapes?
Yeah, of course. Everybody asks me this kind of question.
Yes, of course.
You have to believe to make it a difference. But if you don't believe, anyhow you will have a different lights. It's up to you. I tell you something very simple. If you record in a square frame, you have some kind of impression, and after you record in CinemaScope, you think the image is the same?
Absolutely not.
The shape of the light is just the same thing. Very simple.
So what are the characteristics? They are tunable white, they are dimmable, DMX control, with a very large variety of optics, as we normally use in architecture, lighting design, from narrow spot, fluid, medium fluid, white fluid, extra white fluid, with powers ranges from 200 to 2000 watts. Something that never happened in cinema before, because, you know, they had spot and fluid optics with incandescent light lamps, and then they put a frost in front of it to change the optics. Also, special roll bars are be designed so that the projector can be picked up and handled in the best possible way by the electricians. We do use 4 LED dots per point, 2 of 2700 kelvins and 2 of 6500 kelvin on 2 separated dimming channels. We obtain all the combination to provide a good range of variable CCT. Our choice is for phosphorus LED to guarantee a repeatable and high quality white. This type of LED is very consistent. The optical systems of the Muses are several and of different nature to obtain the choices of beam spread and types of shadows projected. So in some lights, we use lenses collimators, optimized from the layout of the sources, so beam angles like 11, 16, 28, 34 degrees, narrow spot, fluid. In some other lights, we use reflectors or refractors and diffusers together, white fluid and extra white fluid. So they are different kind of optics. So what is important is the union from architecture to cinema together. This is what we did.
Of daughter and father.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I wanted to say one thing, if I could.
Yeah.
It's interesting to note that, you know, there's a muse for tragedy and a muse for comedy. We usually think about tragedy and comedy in terms of lighting, is that comedy, you know, has a softer light and tragedy has a sharper light. That you're kind of saying, well, the muses also are not only the shape, but the kind of light. That spotlight is more associated with tragic, with drama, and soft light is more associated with comedy.
I love comedy, but I don't love when they make a very flat light in the comedy, because if you don't have a relationship between this side and this side, you
yes, you have
yeah,
to close
you know what I mean?
You have to close
No,
one window.
practically, no, you don't have any relationship. A full light is not light, because a light need a kind of dialogue between your unconscious or your consciousness. I always try to find the relationship between what you said, sharp light. Caravaggio, like this painting, is one of the painters that is making those kind of story in painting, in dividing the relationship between light and shadows, very separated, so they don't talk to each other. And so they become very dramatic, if you want. Take Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci is the maximum of the softness, of the shape, in order to give you the perspective in a very subtle way.
I have another comment question. You know, I work a lot with LEDs myself. You know, one of the things that I feel is that LEDs bring a revolution in color, because before you could dim, of course, you know, to warm up the tungsten, and you could also put gels, you know, but the gels were very defined. With LEDs, I believe, and I wonder what you feel about it, all of a sudden we're opening up the possibilities of color.
Now the series is tunable white, but the next steps will be RGB white.
But for the moment, I think the best was don't do funny stuff. You know what I mean? Be straight with the light. At least try to big confidence with the shape, with the optics.
Do you ever feel that you will still use, say, 10K or 20K?
I feel with the LED light, Muse of Light, I'm perfect. I don't need any to go back. No way. I start in a new movie in Cinecittà, Stars and Scars, directed by a Chinese lady, Yi Zhu. I order only the Muses of Light. I don't want to go back anymore. No.
You're not going back. You're not going back.
No, it's like when somebody said, "Ma you don't feel the chance to go back to film compared to digital?" I say no, because today the technology of the digital camera are so high that I don't missing anything. So why I want to go back to film? I don't need it.
Okay, so bye-bye film and bye-bye tungsten, huh?
Every time that I do a master class in America or in wherever, I try to tell the student, you need to know the meaning of light, what light means, what shadows means, what is penumbra, what is the color. Light is one of the major elements, is a visible energy. When one light arriving on us, you don't see the light only with the eyes, but with the entire body, because the light is energy, so it's moving, it's vibrating. It changes the metabolism. It changes your emotion. So practically, when I use particularly a very strong light or a very soft light, I change the mood. White light is connected with the Isaac Newton theory between 7 different colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. When you put it together again, you arrive into white light. If you're using only one frequency, one segment, you give in a specific feeling. When I did Dick Tracy, for example, or one from the Art with Coppola, I was using every single color connected with a single character. If you're using those two basic elements, the sharp light or the soft, and the different vibration in color, you can create in your palette. You can create it like a music. It's like a painting. It's like an articulation in literature. So practically you are telling the story through vision. And that's why I like to say writing with light, because photography is one single image. Cinematography is several different images. So in order to tell the story in the visual side, we need time to tell the story, the beginning, the evolution of the story, and the conclusion of the story. Like in literature, in between the story, we need the kind of rhythm, music.
It's really great to have this conversation. Maybe I can put this conversation on the internet. Maestro, Francesca.
Light.